You might have failed in the past, maybe in your love life, maybe in your career, maybe in your business, or maybe even as a parent, but you just name it. But the biggest problem that is here is that you might have been wasting that your failure, and unknowingly to you, that failure that you have, really wasted, or that you are wasting, is exactly what is quietly affecting your life today. Okay, the honest truth is that you are still afraid to try again. You overthink every decision. You doubt yourself. But what if the failure that really hurts you so badly was supposed to, teach you something that you have not learned or you have not learned before? I want you to pause and then think for a moment, because you are not watching this very video by accident, because you really need the message in this video at this point in your life, so that you can have a new, mind shift from now henceforth, so that whenever you look at your failures and even understanding exactly how you are currently wasting your failure, and then to leave you with a clear way to now turn those your failure or your failures into wisdom and then progress. Okay? And if I were you, I am going to, stick around until the very end of this video. So let us dive properly into our discussion for today, which is, you are wasting your failure and it is affecting you badly. When I say that you are wasting your failure, I mean, when you go through a painful experience in your life, and at the end of that painful experience in your life, guess what? You were really unable to gain any wisdom out of that painful experience that you had in your life. So, my beloved friend, wasting your failure does not really mean that you are failed in life or that you are a failure in life. Okay? Now, let me give you some, simple examples for you to really understand what I am really trying to tell you better. Okay? So listen attentively. If you fail in your business, but you never studied what exactly went wrong that really made you to fail in that your business, when you were being rejected, but you never worked on your own confidence, when you make a bad decision in life, but you keep on doing what? Repeating the same pattern over and then over again. When you trusted, the wrong person, but you never learned nothing about boundaries. Now, the important point that I really want you, to take note is that pain without reflection can quickly become a repeated cycle in your life that can really keep you stuck or even cage you. Okay? Right now, I want you to just relax and then allow me to, walk you through on how your wasted failure is really affecting you so badly, but then unknowingly to you. Okay? Effect one that you get, it makes you to be afraid to try again. Since you have failed severally, and as a human being, that is really made up of flesh and blood, There is this fear sometimes of you not wanting to have that the same experience of your past pain to then repeat itself again in your life. But what you do not really know is that you might be really avoiding, opportunities because you always remember exactly how badly, the last attempt really ended for you. So it is very important for you to know that your past failures in life should give you, the needed information for you to now actually work with for your personal growth and then development in life, and not, the other way around, which is controlling, your future for you. Okay? Effect two that you will get, it destroys your confidence. Yes, the truth is, every time that you remember your failure without you really understanding it, you start using it as you start using it as evidence against yourself. And so you start saying, maybe I am not even good enough. Maybe I can never succeed in life. Maybe this is just who I am. And so let me just accept my fate. But I want you, to really know that a failure is an event. And when you keep on attaching it to your identity, you turn it into a prison for yourself. Effect three that you experience, you keep on repeating the same mistakes over and then over again in your life. If you only cry over a failure, but you never study it, then you may also repeat the same mistake with a different person in a different place and under a different situation or circumstance. Okay? Now, let me give you an example. You may say, people always hurt me. But if I may ask you, have you ever stopped one day to ask yourself, what pattern am I really repeatedly ignoring that is really making people to always hurt me? From what we have, discussed so far in this video, it will interest you, to want to know how you can really stop wasting your failure in life, and then you can now actually achieve that with the help of, the four practical steps that I will be sharing with you right now. So listen to it. Step one: stop asking why me. It is very important, for you to know that the question why me may really express how painful, the thing is to you, but it may not really help you to really grow and also get out of, the current state that you are not really comfortable with or proud of in life. Okay? So you should rather replace it with, what is, this experience really trying to teach me? You should rather start by asking yourself these important life-saving and then transforming questions like, for example, what did I really ignore? What did I misunderstand? What decision really contributed to this? What will I do differently next time? The practical action that, you really have to take immediately after you finish watching this very video right now is this: take a piece of paper and then write it down so clearly. My failure taught me dash, dash, dash. Put it down. Then complete the sentence with at least, three honest lessons that you have, learned from the failure that you experience. Okay. Step two, separate the failure from your true identity. The honest truth is this: you have failed, fine, but that does not really mean that you are a failure, because you can make a bad decision in life without you really being a bad person at all. And you can also lose an opportunity in life without you really becoming a loser in life. So, please, I am begging you, never you turn a bad chapter of your life into, the title of your entire life. Okay? Step three, use your experience, to start creating a new rule in your life. I want you to use this practical framework so that every painful failure that you had or that you have will now produce, a new personal rule for you. Okay? Let me now share with you these examples. I will never ignore red flags again in my life. I will prepare before trying again. I will not make my decisions in life based on only my emotions anymore or again. I will ask questions before ever trusting blindly again. The truth is, if your failure does not change your wisdom, then you may keep on paying for, the same lesson over and then over again in your life. And that is not what you want for yourself. Okay? Step four, try again with the lesson. The goal is not for you to become someone who never fails again, but the goal is for you to become someone, who does not fail the same way forever. Okay? So you may need to try again. You may need to apply, whatever that you have learned. You may need to start smaller. You may even need to prepare better. And also, you may really need to move wiser. This will really help you in making your next attempt not to be a repeat of your last attempt that you've done before. Maybe you are watching this very video right now and you are thinking about something that you have failed at before, or maybe you are still feeling, embarrassed. Maybe you are still questioning yourself because of it. But I am really begging you, please, you really need to, understand this, that your failure in life may have taken something away from you. And that is a fact that we can't deny. But it does not have to, take your entire future to, okay? Surprise, surprise, surprise. I have a good news for you. I want you, to take up this 24 hours challenge. And this is it. Before the next 24 hours end, write down one failure that still affects you under it. Write three lessons that the failure really taught you, and one new rule that you have really decided to live by it. It is very important for you not to just always, remember those your failure, but you should rather extract, the lessons that you can really get from those your failures that you have experienced in life. Now, let me wrap it up properly everything that we have really been discussing so far in today's video into a way that you will never forget, okay? And so let me put it like this. You are not weak because you are failed, but you are hurting yourself when you allow the failure to remain meaningless in your life or for you. The failure happens, and that is a fact, but you cannot change that chapter, and that is an undeniable fact, okay? But you can actually decide what the chapter will produce, in you. So you have to stop wasting your failure and then start studying it, start learning from it, start growing from it. And when you rise again, you should rise as someone that is wiser than the person who first failed or who first fell. If I may ask you, what is one lesson that your biggest failure has ever taught you? You can share it in the comment section below because someone is reading your comment and the person may need that lesson that you learned from that your failure, okay? If you found this video helpful to you or valuable, then subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video with your loved ones, and then promise yourself that you are not going to be wasting your failure again, so that it won't affect you badly. And trust me when I say it, that I will meet you again by God's grace in my next video. So don't go nowhere, okay?